Lucky American coins. Imagine finding a small copper-colored coin in your pocket, under the couch, inside an old jar, or perhaps sitting unnoticed in a drawer for years, and then discovering that it is not an ordinary 1-cent coin at all. Imagine looking closely at a 2016 United States Lincoln cent and noticing something unusual about the design, the lettering, the date, the mint mark, the edge, or the way the coin was struck. Could a simple 1-cent piece from 2016 really be worth a fortune? Could an error hidden on a coin that millions of people ignored somehow turn an ordinary penny into a collector's treasure? These are the questions that make modern Lincoln cents so fascinating to collectors, treasure hunters, and people who enjoy searching through their everyday change. The 2016 United States 1-cent coin is a modern Lincoln cent produced by the United States Mint. At first glance, it may seem like one of the least valuable coins in American currency because its denomination is only 1 cent. Yet coin collecting has always taught enthusiasts an important lesson: the face value of a coin does not necessarily determine its collector value. A coin that is officially worth 1 cent for spending purposes can sometimes be worth many dollars, hundreds of dollars, or in exceptional circumstances considerably more if it possesses a rare and desirable characteristic. The first thing to understand about a 2016 Lincoln cent is that the majority of examples are not rare. Millions of Lincoln cents were struck for circulation, and ordinary examples can still be found in pocket change. Most circulated 2016 cents are worth approximately their face value, although uncirculated pieces in attractive condition can have a small premium to collectors. The real excitement begins when a coin has something unusual about it. This is where the word error becomes extremely important. A mint error is a mistake or abnormality that occurs during the manufacturing process at the United States Mint. These errors can happen at different stages of production. A blank planchette may have an unusual problem before striking. A die may be damaged or improperly prepared. The coin may be struck more than once. The dies may become misaligned. A foreign object may interfere with the striking process. A planchette intended for one denomination may accidentally be struck by dies intended for another denomination. In rare cases, an incorrect planchette can produce a spectacular and highly collectible error. But not every unusual-looking coin is a mint error. This distinction is extremely important because many coins described online as rare errors are actually damaged after leaving the mint. A coin can be scratched, bent, drilled, stained, chemically altered, discolored, or struck by machinery after it enters circulation. Such damage may make a coin look unusual, but it does not automatically make the coin valuable. Genuine mint errors are errors that occurred during the official manufacturing process, and professional collectors generally want strong evidence that the unusual feature is authentic. The 2016 Lincoln cent is particularly interesting because it belongs to the modern era of United States coinage. By 2016, the Lincoln cent had already been produced for more than a century. The famous Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909, making it one of the most recognizable coins in American history. The original coin was created to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Abraham Lincoln remains one of the most important figures in American history. He served as the 16th President of the United States and led the nation through the Civil War. His image on the cent became a lasting symbol of American history, and the Lincoln cent has remained in production for generations. The 2016 cent continues this long tradition. On the obverse, or front side, the coin features the portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. Above his portrait is the word Liberty. To the right of his portrait appears the date 2016, along with a mint mark on coins produced at certain mint facilities. The phrase "In God We Trust" appears above Lincoln's portrait. These words and symbols are not random decorations. They represent important parts of the identity of United States coinage. Liberty reflects a central principle associated with American political tradition. "In God We Trust" is the official national motto found on United States currency. The date identifies the year in which the coin was produced, while the mint mark can help identify where the coin was struck. The reverse side of the 2016 Lincoln cent features the Union Shield design. This design was introduced on Lincoln cents beginning in 2010. At the top of the shield is the motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many, one. The denomination 1 cent appears prominently on the lower portion of the reverse, while United States of America is written across the design. The Union Shield reverse is especially interesting because it replaced the Lincoln Memorial reverse that had appeared on cents from 1959 through 2008, as well as the special 2009 reverse designs that commemorated Lincoln's life. The new shield design represented a modern continuation of the Lincoln cent series. A 2016 cent therefore carries more history than its tiny denomination might suggest. The coin is also interesting from a technical perspective. A standard 2016 Lincoln cent has a diameter of approximately 19.05 millimeters and a standard weight of approximately 2.5 grams. It is composed of copper-plated zinc, with a core primarily made of zinc and a thin copper outer layer. This composition has been used for modern Lincoln cents since 1982, except for special circumstances and certain collector issues. The copper-plated zinc composition is an important clue when examining a 2016 penny. Collectors who search for errors often examine the color, surface, weight, diameter, and overall appearance of a coin. If a supposedly ordinary 2016 cent weighs significantly more or less than expected, that may justify further investigation. However, weight alone is never enough to prove an error. A coin can lose metal through damage, corrosion, environmental exposure, or other causes. Similarly, a coin can gain weight from contamination or substances stuck to the surface. That is why serious coin collectors use multiple clues. A scale accurate to at least 1/100th of a gram can be useful for preliminary examination. A digital caliper can help measure diameter and thickness. A magnifying glass or loupe can reveal details that are difficult to see with the naked eye. Good lighting is essential. Most importantly, the coin should be handled carefully and should not be cleaned. Cleaning is one of the biggest mistakes a new collector can make. Someone may discover a strange-looking 2016 penny and decide to polish it until it shines. Unfortunately, polishing can permanently damage the original surface of the coin. Collectors generally prefer original surfaces, and a harshly cleaned coin may be worth considerably less than an untouched example. If a coin appears potentially valuable, the safest approach is usually to leave it exactly as found and have it examined by an experienced collector or professional grading service. The 2016 Lincoln cent was produced at multiple United States mint facilities. Coins from Philadelphia generally have no mint mark, while coins from Denver carry a D mint mark. Collector-quality coins can also be associated with San Francisco production, although San Francisco's role in modern cents is primarily connected with proof coinage rather than ordinary circulation production. This means that when examining a 2016 cent, collectors should first identify whether the coin has a mint mark and then consider its condition and possible variety. The deeper you look into the 2016 Lincoln cent, the more fascinating the story becomes, because what appears to be a simple 1-cent coin is actually the product of an incredibly complex manufacturing system. Every detail on the coin exists for a reason, and every unusual feature has a story behind it. For collectors, the challenge is to determine whether that unusual feature was created at the United States Mint, or whether it happened later, after the coin entered circulation. This distinction can mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth a premium to collectors. When people hear the phrase 2016 penny error, they often imagine a coin that is automatically worth thousands, hundreds of thousands, or even millions of dollars. The reality is much more complicated. There are many different kinds of mint errors, and they do not all have the same value. Some errors are relatively common and bring only a small premium. Others are much scarcer and can attract serious collector interest. The most dramatic and unusual errors can command significant prices when they are authenticated and when collectors compete for them. The first step in understanding the 2016 Lincoln cent is understanding how the coin is made. The process begins long before Abraham Lincoln's portrait appears on the finished coin. Metal is prepared in large sheets, and those sheets are processed into blanks. The blanks are then transformed into planches, which are the prepared pieces of metal that eventually become coins. The planches must meet specific requirements for weight, size, and composition. They are then transported to the presses, where enormous pressure is used to transfer the design from the dies onto the planchette. This process happens at extremely high speed. Modern coin production involves sophisticated machinery capable of striking enormous numbers of coins. The vast majority of coins are produced correctly. But when billions of coins are manufactured, even a very small percentage of abnormalities can result in unusual pieces entering circulation. This is where the world of mint errors begins. A 2016 Lincoln cent could potentially show a variety of abnormalities. Some may be obvious to the naked eye, while others require magnification. Some are caused by problems with the planchette. Others are caused by the dies. Some occur during the actual striking process. And some features that appear to be errors are not errors at all. This last category is extremely important. Imagine finding a 2016 penny with what appears to be a doubled date. At first glance, you might think you have found a double die variety. But after closer examination, the apparent doubling may turn out to be machine doubling. Machine doubling occurs when the die or planchette moves during the striking process in a way that creates a secondary impression. The result can resemble doubling, but it is not the same as a true doubled die. The difference is important because collectors generally place much greater value on recognized and genuine double die varieties than on ordinary machine doubling. This is why photographs alone can sometimes be misleading. Lighting can create shadows. Angles can make letters appear wider. Reflections can make parts of the design look duplicated. Damage can create shapes that resemble additional lettering. A coin that looks extraordinary in one photograph may appear completely normal when viewed under proper lighting. This is one reason experienced collectors use magnification, comparison, and reference materials. A genuine error should make sense within the minting process. If a coin is claimed to have a wrong planchette error, the weight and dimensions should support that possibility. If a coin is claimed to have a broad strike, the shape and edge characteristics should be consistent with a collar problem. If a coin is claimed to be off-center, the design displacement should show characteristics of an actual striking error rather than damage. If a coin is claimed to be doubled, the doubling should have characteristics consistent with the way the die was created or the way the coin was struck. Understanding these details is what separates serious coin collecting from simple internet speculation. One of the most visually impressive errors is the off-center strike. Doubled dies have always attracted collectors. The idea that a die used to strike thousands of coins could contain a doubled design is fascinating. If the doubling is genuine and significant, every coin struck by that die may display the same characteristic. This means that a double die variety can exist across multiple coins. Collectors may search for examples. Researchers may document the variety. Grading companies may attribute it. Over time, the variety can become known among collectors. However, identifying true double dies is not always easy. A genuine double die is created during the die-making process. Machine doubling occurs during striking. The visual difference can be subtle. A true double die may show separation between design elements. Machine doubling may appear flattened or shelf-like. The direction and shape of the doubling can also provide clues. This is why collectors should not rely on a simple photograph or a quick glance. A magnifying glass can help. A microscope can help even more. But magnification alone does not guarantee identification. Knowledge is still required. This is one reason the internet can be both useful and dangerous for coin collectors. Online communities contain enormous amounts of information. Collectors share photographs. Experts explain errors. Auction houses publish results. Grading companies provide educational resources. But the internet also contains misinformation. Some websites publish unrealistic prices. Some videos use sensational titles. Some social media accounts claim that ordinary coins are worth millions. Some sellers list coins at extremely high prices without ever selling them. A listing is not a sale. An asking price is not a market value. A viral claim is not proof. This is especially important when discussing the supposed $178 million value associated with a 2016 penny. There is no reliable evidence establishing that an ordinary 2016 Lincoln cent is worth $178 million. There is also no credible documented auction record showing a 2016 Lincoln cent error selling for that amount. Therefore, anyone presenting the $178 million figure as a confirmed market price would be misleading viewers. However, that does not mean that every 2016 cent is worthless beyond 1 cent. The truth is more nuanced. Some genuine errors can be collectible. Some varieties can command premiums. Some exceptional coins can be worth substantially more than face value. The challenge is finding out exactly what you have. One of the most important characteristics to examine is the mint mark. The United States Mint operates multiple facilities, and coins produced at different locations can carry different mint marks. A 2016 cent with a D mint mark indicates production associated with Denver. A 2016 cent without a mint mark generally indicates Philadelphia production. A 2016 proof cent may carry an S mint mark associated with San Francisco. The mint mark can be useful for identifying the coin. But the mint mark alone does not make the coin rare. This is an important warning for beginners. You may see a 2016 D penny and think the letter D makes it valuable. It does not. You may see a 2016 penny without a mint mark and assume the mint forgot to add one. That is not necessarily true. Philadelphia cents normally do not carry a mint mark. The absence of a mint mark must be interpreted according to normal mint practices. This is why knowledge is so important. Without understanding how coins are normally made, it is easy to mistake ordinary characteristics for rare errors. The same principle applies to the color of the coin. A normal 2016 cent has a copper-colored exterior because of its copper plating. But the color can change. A coin may become darker through oxidation. It may develop a brown or black appearance. It may become reddish. It may show unusual spots. Environmental exposure can alter the surface. Chemicals can change the color. Heat can affect the appearance. A coin that appears silver-colored may attract attention, but color alone does not prove that it was struck on a different metal. This is where weight becomes important. The standard weight of a modern copper-plated zinc cent is approximately 2.5 grams. If a coin weighs significantly more or less, collectors may investigate further. But even then, the weight is only one piece of evidence. A coin can lose metal through damage. A coin can gain weight from contamination. A coin can have production tolerances. A coin can be altered. Therefore, weight should be combined with diameter, thickness, edge characteristics, and surface analysis. Suppose a 2016 penny weighs approximately 2.5 grams. That would be consistent with a normal copper-plated zinc cent. Suppose another weighs significantly more. That could be interesting. Perhaps the coin was struck on an incorrect planchette. Perhaps another piece of metal became attached. Perhaps the coin was altered. Perhaps the scale is inaccurate. The next step is investigation. You should not jump directly to the most exciting explanation. This is one of the most important principles in coin collecting. Always begin with the simplest explanation. Then eliminate possibilities. Then seek expert confirmation. This method prevents disappointment and protects collectors from misinformation. The same approach applies to the edge. A normal coin should have a consistent edge. A suspected error may show unusual characteristics. Perhaps the edge is unusually broad. Perhaps the coin appears thinner. Perhaps part of the edge is missing. Perhaps the rim looks different on one side. These observations can be useful. But again, damage must be ruled out. A coin can be bent. It can be flattened. It can be ground. It can be cut. It can be squeezed. All of these actions can change the edge. The question is whether the abnormality occurred before the coin left the mint. That is the heart of error collecting. One of the most fascinating possibilities is an off-center strike. Imagine a coin where Abraham Lincoln's portrait is shifted dramatically to one side. Perhaps part of the date is close to the edge. Perhaps a section of the reverse design is missing. Perhaps the blank metal of the planchette is visible on one side. This can be an impressive error. The degree of displacement matters. A coin that is slightly off-center may have a small premium. A coin that is dramatically off-center can be much more desirable. The date matters as well. A collector generally wants to know exactly what coin they are looking at. If the date is missing, identification becomes more difficult. If the date is fully visible, the error may be easier to document and collect. This is one reason collectors often consider a dramatic off-center coin with a visible date particularly attractive. But once again, there is no universal price. Two off-center coins can look similar, but sell for very different amounts. Condition matters. Rarity matters. The percentage of displacement matters. The location of the error matters. Collector demand matters. Certification matters. The market determines the price. Another interesting category is the broad strike. A broad-struck coin may have a larger diameter than normal. The design can appear stretched. The rim may be affected. The coin may have a distinctive appearance. But collectors need to distinguish a broad strike from a coin that was simply flattened after leaving the mint. This can sometimes be done by examining the design and the edge. A genuine broad strike occurs during striking. The metal flows outward under pressure. The design remains consistent with the striking process. Post-mint flattening can distort the coin differently. The surface may show signs of impact. The design may be damaged. The edge may be compressed. These differences can be subtle. Professional examination can help. The same applies to partial collar errors. A partial collar error occurs when the planchette is. Here is part 4 and the ending, continuing the script in the same style, with the conclusion bringing together the 2016 Lincoln Cents history, design, weight, errors, realistic value, collecting advice, and the unverified $178 million claim. Writing a variant equals document, ID equals 90417. As the story of the 2016 Lincoln Cent comes to its conclusion, one fact becomes more important than any sensational headline or extraordinary price claim. The true value of a coin must always be supported by evidence. The 2016 Lincoln Cent is a fascinating modern United States coin, but its real story is not simply about the possibility of finding a fortune. It is about history, design, technology, minting, errors, rarity, and the people who spent countless hours examining small pieces of metal in search of something unusual. The 2016 1-cent coin carries a face value of 1 cent, but its significance goes far beyond that number. It belongs to one of the longest-running and most recognizable coin series in American history. The Lincoln cent began in 1909, and the portrait of Abraham Lincoln has remained a familiar part of American pocket change for generations. More than a century after the first Lincoln cent was introduced, the 2016 penny continued that tradition. The obverse displayed the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. Above the portrait appeared the words, "In God We Trust." The word liberty appeared beside Lincoln, and the date 2016 identified the year of production. Depending on the facility where the coin was produced, a mint mark could also appear. The reverse featured the Union Shield design, a modern representation of national unity. The words E pluribus unum appeared above the shield, while United States of America and 1 cent identified the country and denomination. These details may seem ordinary because people see them so often, but each one contributes to the story of the coin. The standard modern Lincoln cent weighs approximately 2.5 grams and measures approximately 19.05 millimeters in diameter. It is primarily composed of zinc with a thin copper coating. This composition reflects the changes that took place in American coin manufacturing during the modern era. The metal itself is not what makes an ordinary 2016 penny valuable. The real interest comes from its collectible characteristics. A normal circulated example generally remains worth approximately 1 cent. An uncirculated example may have a modest premium depending on its condition and collector interest. A proof example can have additional value. A high-grade certified example may be more desirable. And a genuine mint error can potentially be worth significantly more. But the value of an error depends entirely on the exact nature of that error. A tiny and common production anomaly may bring only a small premium. A dramatic off-center strike may attract more attention. A large cud may be desirable. A genuine clipped planchette may be collectible. A major double strike may be impressive. A wrong planchette error could be especially interesting. A unique and authenticated error could potentially command a substantial price. But none of these facts justify automatically claiming that a 2016 penny is worth $178 million. The figure of $178 million should be treated as an unverified sensational claim rather than a confirmed market value. There is no credible evidence that an ordinary 2016 Lincoln cent has sold for $178 million, and there's no established public auction record supporting such a price for a generic 2016 error. This is an important distinction for anyone interested in coin collecting. The Internet has changed the way people discover information about coins. Today, a photograph of an unusual penny can be shared with millions of people within hours. A headline can spread rapidly. A video can receive thousands or millions of views. A claim that a common-looking penny is worth an enormous amount can become popular even when there is no evidence behind it. But popularity is not proof. A coin's value is not determined by how many people click on a video. It is not determined by the number printed in an online article. It is not determined by an unrealistic price written on a marketplace listing. It is determined by the actual characteristics of the coin and by what the market is willing to pay. This is why serious collectors study auction records, professional grading reports, and documented sales. When a coin sells at a public auction, the realized price provides evidence of actual market demand. When a coin is professionally authenticated and graded, buyers have greater confidence in its authenticity and condition. When multiple examples of the same error have sold, collectors can begin to understand the market range. This evidence is much stronger than a simple claim that a coin is worth millions. The 2016 Lincoln cent is therefore an excellent example of why research matters. If you find a coin that appears unusual, do not immediately assume it is a fortune. Start with the basics. Confirm the date. Check the mint mark. Examine the condition. Look at the design. Inspect the edge. Measure the weight. Compare the diameter. Look for evidence of a genuine minting error. Then research the feature. If the coin appears to have a major error, consider professional authentication. This process may seem slow, but it is the best way to determine what you actually have. Imagine finding a 2016 cent that appears to be missing part of its edge. At first, you might think it is a clipped planchet. But after closer inspection, you discover that the coin was damaged by a machine. The unusual shape happened after the coin left the mint. In this case, the coin is not a valuable mint error. Now imagine another coin, with a curved missing section, and characteristics consistent with a genuine clip. That coin may be much more interesting. The difference is not obvious simply by looking at the shape. The difference is in the evidence. The same principle applies to doubled coins. A beginner may see a secondary image on a letter and immediately think it is a doubled die. But the feature could be machine doubling. Or it could be damage. Or it could be a reflection. A genuine doubled die requires careful analysis. This is why coin collecting rewards patience. The more you learn, the better you become at recognizing what is truly unusual. The 2016 cent also demonstrates why the manufacturing process is so important. Coins are produced through a series of carefully controlled steps. Metal is prepared. Blanks are punched. Planchets are processed. Coins are struck. Finished pieces are inspected and distributed. Each stage provides opportunities for something unusual to happen. If a blanking process goes wrong, a clipped planchet may result. If a planchet is not positioned correctly, an off-center strike may occur. If the collar does not function properly, a broad strike or partial collar error may be created. If a die develops a crack, that crack can appear on subsequent coins. If part of the die breaks away, a cud may form. If the wrong planchet enters the press, a wrong planchet error can occur. These events are rare, but they are possible. That is why collectors search. They are looking for evidence of the unexpected. The idea of finding a rare error in ordinary pocket change is one of the most exciting aspects of coin collecting. You could be standing in a store. You could receive a handful of change. You could notice a penny that looks slightly different. Maybe the date appears shifted. Maybe the edge is unusual. Maybe the coin is a strange weight. You take it home. You compare it with another penny. You look more closely. Suddenly, a simple coin becomes a mystery. That mystery leads to research. Research leads to identification. Identification leads to authentication. And authentication determines whether the coin is genuinely special. This is the journey that makes coin hunting so enjoyable. The financial value is only one part of the experience. The discovery itself is valuable. The knowledge gained is valuable. The historical connection is valuable. The excitement is valuable. The 2016 Lincoln cent also reminds us that the age of a coin is not the only thing that matters. A coin does not have to be hundreds